Yeah, exactly. That's so interesting. My mom's a nurse and she works like at LACC, so she knows a lot about schools. Good. Okay. I think I applied to it when I was trying to. It's actually hard to get in. I got into college.
Okay. How's everybody doing?
Stress.
Did you stress?
This class is stressful. This class is really
No,
stressful.
it is not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. That's so be it. That's what happens. Did anybody not have a good turkey day, or everybody had a good turkey day, right?
If I can remember it, it's a good thing.
What? Good?
Turkey day.
Yeah. Yeah, no turkey. Okay, good. I had a couple of them, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what I think. Okay, we're going to kind of finish the last couple of lectures today and Wednesday, I think. And then Monday, I guess we'll meet if we want to go over stuff.
The study guide would be a great idea for Monday.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking actually after the final.
How do you do that?
Well, I was thinking of getting this room open like that Thursday or Friday, and see if everybody can make it.
No.
But we all have finals.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I have two other finals after that.
You do? No. Okay. Well,
What happened on Friday?
no, she was wondering when the presentation is going to be done. And I was thinking of actually scheduling it after the finals. You know, just getting this room for half a day. But maybe it'll be difficult for everybody to...
No.
Well, that's the case, then I would say that on Monday, it'll have to be.
So next Monday?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a week from now, right? A week?
Yeah. I mean, unless I can,
But there's no way to put
Everything is
everyone
so
to give their
congested now.
presentation.
I know.
Everything is really congested.
Well, I know, but we gotta do this.
Yeah, can we do take? Yeah, that's gonna
How about we do it the next Monday, even though school's over, right?
There's still finals. There's still finals. I might genetics.
We have a final that Tuesday too.
What Tuesday?
The 17th. Yeah, it's on the 16th. The 16th.
So, I mean, next week is finals, right?
I'm cool with that.
What?
Finals.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like right now.
yeah, that would make the most sense.
You do what?
We should, that's why Bobby is making us do our presentations this week, so we have time to study for our final. Can we do a take-home exam and do
What?
the presentation day of the final?
Okay, we'll just have to do it Monday.
Why can't we do it this way? Like, we can do.
Study for the final.
Absolutely. Like, we need to study for your final.
Well, I know that, but,
Can we do it this way? Like, we'll do the present. You're not even hearing me out.
no, because it's just too difficult to get everybody together.
No, what I'm saying is, like, next Wednesday, the day of our final, we can do the presentations, and then we can do like a Moodle final exam, like on Moodle, like a take home, like do it on.
No, not going to do that. We could have the presentations after next Wednesday after the final.
No.
But I have a final after
Yeah.
Wednesday.
You do
At 4 o'clock.
at 4:00.
Oh yeah, me too. I have one at 5. Yeah.
And this one ends, I think, 2:45.
I have
So
one at
it's like an
5.
hour.
What about before the final on Wednesday?
What about like the groups that have people that have finals like right after? They go first.
That they what?
That they go first and then they can leave. When they're
Okay.
done. 'Cause then they can go take their final.
Yeah. Okay, like on Wednesday, in other words. After, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's a good idea.
How much time are we gonna have for the final though?
2 hours.
It's gonna be shorter than the first one.
What is?
Whoever needed more time though.
There'll be fewer questions.
So more multiple choice.
There'll be similar multiple choice, but there won't be 13 short answers. There'll be like 8.
So how long do you expect the final to take us?
We have 2 hours.
Well, it should take under 2 hours. Okay, I mean it definitely shouldn't take that long.
Because I'm thinking, what if we do an exam that should take about an hour, and then we use one of those hours allotted for the final to do presentations,
Yeah.
and then we do like a shorter exam, and then do presentations until people have to leave.
Okay.
How about just
Um,
a multiple choice exam?
I mean the thing is I need
Can we
like
do
a 1 hour exam. I guess I could.
Or all multiple choice.
Then not 8, like.
Well, I mean,
No, it's not going to be multiple choice. No.
but if it's just an hour, then we would still have time to do it, and hopefully we could get it done before people have to leave.
Yeah. Do people have exams before the final on this
Yeah.
final?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, what'll happen is then, okay, I'll make it a shorter final for an hour or an hour and 15 minutes. And then the people who have to have finals after that, they go first. And then the people who don't, they go after that. Okay?
How long does each presentation have to be?
10, 15 minutes at the most. 15 at the...
How many groups are there?
Oh, I'd have to look, but it's not that many.
So we can finish it on time if it's 10
Yeah.
to 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, you guys should be able to finish it. No problem. Okay,
Are
yeah?
you gonna post another study guide?
Oh yeah.
You can do
I'll,
it tonight, right?
I'll try.
Please.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
So you can
I should
start.
be able to.
Okay.
Okay.
Wrong one.
Oh, I've been recording this. That's no good. Okay. Okie dokie. So, we're looking at social interactions and some of the different kinds of social interactions that human or any animals that live in social groups might face. The one on the upper left, of course, is selfish. You know, my basketball. The one up on the right cooperation, if it's within the same species and same social group, or if it's a mutualism, let's say between one group of animals and another, then that's a mutualism, but it's like cooperation. Spite, so there's it seems like in nature you would never have spite. We have spite, but in general, what happens is with spite, so your fitness with spite goes down, and the person you're spiteful to also goes down. So you're both incurring a cost. So selfish is plus minus. In other words, mine minus you don't get any. Cooperation is plus. Spite is minus. And then altruism, right here, is minus plus. In other words, you're giving up some of your own fitness for someone else. Now, that should be, it's kind of strange to think about it because, selection is essentially, evolution by natural selection is essentially a selfish process in the fact that the genes that you're going to pass on, you want those to be yours, or at least your relatives, compared to everybody else. So,
I'm sorry, you said altruism is plus?
no, altruism is a minus plus.
Minus.
Cooperation is a plus.
Okay.
So here's a look at costs and benefits of social living. Now, of course, one of the costs is having to deal with your relatives, unless you actually enjoy them, and then it's not a cost, it's a benefit, and you can hit them up for money, right? So they're your relatives, and if they give you money, they're actually increasing their inclusive fitness. So use that argument. Well, one of the costs, of course, of social living organisms is great conspicuousness. Obviously, if you have a whole bunch of zebras all together, they're pretty conspicuous versus one. Greater transmission of disease and parasites among group members. So you think about Ebola right now. If people were living in hunter-gatherer groups, Ebola would burn out within, it might kill the whole village, but it wouldn't really go much further than that. But because you're all living together, and let's say in this case, in cities, there's lots of direct transmission, and it transmits very easily. The same thing with the plague, any sort of disease, whether it's other animals or humans, the transmission is increased with group membership, increasing group size. Time and energy expended by subordinates in dealing with more dominant companions. Well, there's also probably extra energy for the dominants as well. And then, let's say you're a whole bunch of individuals are living together and there's a bunch of different males, and there's always a chance that you'll be cuckolded by another male. That means he's going to get your wife. If females are also in the social group, all living together, and they're helping each other, the thing is, they really want their eggs to survive and hatch or produce new animals, and not someone else's. And so some females might actually go out and surreptitiously toss eggs out of nests or other forms of reproductive interference. And we'll look at that shortly. Benefits. Well, we've already talked about predation. The dilution effect or mutual defense. Let's see, what else was there? The selfish herd, that sort of thing. Opportunities to receive assistance from others in dealing with pathogens, well, with humans, I don't know about other animals. Perhaps improved foraging. So, actually, foraging could be a more competition for food. Well, it could also improve foraging with this information center effect. Now, an information center is kind of like you learn about a food source from other members of the group, either by following them and seeing what they're eating and you join in, or of course you look yourself and then someone else joins, and then it's kind of a detriment to you. A lot of subordinates are granted permission to remain safely within a group. Usually what that means is that they are not breeding, or if they're breeding, and let's say it's a monogamous relationship, like with birds, the dominant male for all the group members is the one, he basically cuckolds all the other males and they just have to put up with it. I think that's called the royal prerogative. Has anybody ever heard of that? It's where royalty on your wedding night, they can take your wife to bed, and then after that, she's yours. Yeah, no, that's a royal prerogative. That's right. Yeah, it was, yeah. Oh, well, think about, what's the Mel Gibson movie, the Scottish one? Yeah, yeah. So the count or whatever is going to take his wife first, and he doesn't want that to happen, of course. So, opportunity for males to cuckold others, and then, of course, females' opportunity to toss eggs of others. So those are some of the benefits and costs of social living. So this is an energy budget for a little cichlid fish, Neolamprologus pulcher, and it looks at how much time these individuals spend doing various things. So if they're helpers, these fish have usually there are helpers. They're either relatives or they're, let's say, other males that at least hope to inherit the territory. So obviously, a lot of their time is directed towards helping, raising offspring. Whether it's protecting the nest, a lot of male fish do this, the female doesn't. Let's see. Or, of course, submissive behavior. So you always have to be submissive around the top dog. Egg cleaning. I would really consider that part of helping. Substrate cleaning, digging, carrying. So this is the kind of energy budget for a subordinate member. Now, if they're a dominant, obviously, they don't pay any of these other ancillary costs. So these fish, they set up territories, and the females actually come in and lay eggs, and he fertilizes them. And if it's a high quality male, he'll have more nests in his territory than some other male. And his territory will be bigger. So here we have number one on day one. A lot of different nests from various females. It might be more than one female, a female laying more than one in one nest. Same with two. They're all pretty discrete. 3 has a little bit of overlap, but not much. 4 is pretty separate as well. So these are basically established territories. Now, if you take the top-ranked helper, oh yeah, that's right. So in addition to the dominant, you've got helpers that help the dominant male. So with this last one, each of these has helpers in it. And helpers, they're there to do all those various things that we looked at in terms of energy budget, protection as well, driving off other territorial members. But when the top-ranked helper was removed on day 3, you see right away that neighbors were able to invade. Specifically, 2 invaded into one's territory. So the helper was removed from 1, and 2 was able to basically take over. So there's these woodpeckers that you probably well, if you've gone hiking, they're the most common woodpecker around here, and up and down the California coast in the Sierras is the acorn woodpecker. They're one of the few woodpeckers that actually nest, not just colonially, but they all help each other in terms of their territorial defense. They have a granary. We'll look at that in a second here. They make these granaries. And to actually, a granary is obviously a very important resource, but you need helpers to protect it. So if you remove some helpers, there's a good chance that something else will come along and steal the granary or take it over. But, of course, females, now they all lay, it turns out, dominants and subordinates, they all lay common eggs in a common nest, and they all help each other in raising those offspring. But of course there's this conflict inherently in terms of you get higher fitness if your eggs hatch and the fledglings all do well versus the others. And so some females, they have this behavior where they go into the nest when no one's looking, and they take another sister's eggs and toss them out. So if you have kids and then there's someone else that requires your investment, you're actually entitled to do whatever you can to stop that from happening. So I'm sure you've done that with your kids, so that let's say relatives say, please come over and help me with this and that, and you say, no, we can't do that. My kids come first. Yeah, right? Okay, good. I'm glad that there's someone in here who's kind of a hard ass like me. Cliff swallows are colonial nesters. They each have their own nest, lay their own eggs. They get some benefits from this. Territorial defense, that sort of thing. Also, have larger costs. So here's this one again, right? So larger colonies of cliff swallows have a higher probability of being infested with nest parasites. If you're solitary, transmission is limited, but if you're in a group, transmission is much higher. And you can imagine, let's say here's an untreated nest, and an individual at the same age as this one, and it's been treated with an insecticide. In other words, so it gets rid of the parasites. And you can actually see, of course, how much of a cost that these birds are actually suffering. Let's see, what else? There's another, of course, foraging for food. When there's a lot of group members and they all forage for the same resource, in this case insects, there's probably, obviously, a cost because you're in competition with all the other nesters there. Okay, so let's take a look here. First of all, let's take a look at, so here we have solitary, here and here. We've got eusocial. That means it's, there's a dominant queen, and the other workers, the female caste workers, don't have any of their own fitness. They don't have their own offspring. Let's see, polymorphic, that means there's both, depending on the ecological circumstances. Oh, a social parasite. What? Okay. There we go. Okay. This is a social parasite. Bees and wasps. A lot of bees or a lot wasps actually go in, and they enslave other ants. So they steal the eggs, they raise them, and those workers then tend their own eggs. And there's variations on this theme. So there's social parasites. They're not all that common, but they're certainly there. And you can see polymorphic, eusocial rather, has evolved independently several times. And it's been lost. So if we look at this tree, they all evolved, the ancestral state was solitary. And from those ancestral states, it looks like there's one clade that gave rise to all the others where there's eusocial, polymorphic, social parasite, uncertain, whatever. There's cases like here where there was a reversal. So it's a eusocial and then it goes back to solitary for these two individuals. This kind of situation and kind of has evolved many different times within social insects and other groups as well, but especially social insects. Oh, it's okay, Lasioglossum bees. Okay. Let's see here. And here's some more stuff on types of social interactions. If it's a mutualism, it's between two different species. So we'll take a look at that at a little film. Or if it's within the same species, the same social groups, it's individuals helping each other. As you can see, reciprocal altruism. It's basically cooperation, but staggered in terms of time. A good example of that has to do with vampire bats. They have to drink a blood meal every day. If they don't, they're in big trouble. Well, it turns out that their cave mates give them part of their own blood meal when an individual doesn't get enough himself. But it's expected that there's reciprocity. These vampire bats, they have kind of distinctive facial features, so individuals can recognize individuals. They know who they've interacted with, and they certainly remember who gave up the goods and helped them and who said later, right? So it can be, that kind of altruism or reciprocity can be enforced. If you get a reputation for not helping out all the others in the colony, then there's a good chance you're going to be out of luck. Unless, of course, you're such a good forager that you never need any help. Spiteful behavior is almost never observed in nature, but it turns out altruism, or what we call altruism, is not all that uncommon. We're over? Okay. Well, we'll get the rest of it next time.